Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your second Chelsea news video of the day. I want to say a big thank you for 335,000 subscribers. The channel's been growing like crazy and I'm not going anywhere throughout the whole of this summer. I want to keep you guys up to date hour by hour almost. I've just woken up this morning and there isn't too much breaking news to go through this morning, but at the same time, I don't just want to constantly be discussing the gossip. I want to take a look at Chelsea new signing today, Mamadou Sarr, as well as some very interesting predictions that have been made about the Club World Cup. There's also news regarding player registrations for the Club World Cup. So when Chelsea right now, we're thinking like there's a big rush going on to try and get these deals done, which would make sense because the earlier Maresca gets to work with the players, the quicker they can integrate with the squad, personality-wise. But as well as that, the sooner we get to see them, which is also very exciting. But I always think the sooner you can get transfers done, the better equipped you'll be come the start of the actual season. Now, a lot of people are still not really too bothered about this Club World Cup. I'm obviously here, so I'm going to be covering it on the channel for you lot. And it's going to be not only fun, but I think every competition has to start somewhere. And I know that the Club World Cup is something that basically we've had it, but it's always just like the European Champions League winners. They enter at the semi-final stage and then usually win the tournament. To have 32 teams competing, we're going to predict it in this video. And as well as that, go through the news. So, first things first though, I want to show you guys this. Because this is the Opta tournament prediction for how far Chelsea will go. Going to remove my camera for a second. PSG are the obvious favourites for this tournament. Man City second, Bayern Munich third. Chelsea are down the bottom here in sixth with a 93.4% chance of making it into the last 16. We've got a relatively easy group. 56% chance of making it into the quarters. 30.9% into the semis with an 8.4% chance of winning the whole tournament. I think that's interesting. We're going to go through and show you what Chelsea's likely route to the final could be. But first things first, let's give the latest updates on Monday afternoon. Chelsea are continuing to pursue a deal for Jamie Gittins despite Dortmund holding out for a fee in the region of £40 million. This is where it's quite important to understand about the registrations for the Club World Cup. So right now, we are in the final 48 hours of the first part of the transfer window. On the 10th of June, the transfer window will close and it will reopen again on the 16th of June. Then Chelsea will have the opportunity to start signing players again, and we will be able to register those players then for the knockout phases of the Club World Cup. I believe that's what's going to happen. So at the moment, we're talking about this crazy panic, but realistically, if we take a look at Chelsea's Club World Cup group, I'm going to get it up on the screen for you guys to see now. I think Chelsea should be winning this group. It's Group D. If I zoom in a little bit on it here, you guys can see that this is Chelsea's group. We've got Flamengo, Tunis, and Los Angeles FC. And as much as I don't want to disrespect the competition, I think Flamengo will probably be the second best team in Chelsea's group. I think Chelsea are going to win this group. Flamengo comes second, Tunis third, and Los Angeles FC coming in fourth. But Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors, PSG Atletico, Porto Palmeiras, I think are going to go through. Maybe Al Ahly in Group A. And then Group E, if we zoom in on this, I've gone Inter Milan, River Plate, and then Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense, Man City, Juventus, and then Real Madrid and Al Hilal coming out of Group H. So, in my opinion, the Club World Cup is very much going to be European team dominant. I know that if you follow the Brazilian league, you'll be like, don't disrespect the Brazilian teams. I just still think there's too much power from the European sides. The only thing I will say is I think the South American clubs will do very well because maybe this is their opportunity to be like, nah, we're as good as these European teams. We're better than the European teams. That's kind of an early prediction I'm going to make. We're going to go through the knockout stage at the end of this video. Let's move now Chelsea set to return to Cobham tomorrow to begin Club World Cup preparations. So we got to talk about this because as much as it's exciting that we've got a Club World Cup to look forward to this summer, the season for us literally ended less than 2 weeks ago, and we are already calling the players back. There's been so much talk about how much football these players actually play. And look, I don't want to just disregard it. I don't want to not discuss it because it is going to become a problem. I think the quality of football will inevitably deteriorate because these players have got so much on their shoulders, particularly when we think about Chelsea's players, right? For example, Wesley Fofana, he's not going to feature in this tournament. He is fully focused on making sure he's ready for the start of the Premier League season. I think this is good. And in this video next, we're going to go through Mamadou Sarr, Chelsea's new centre-back, to learn a bit about him, as well as that Reece James. He's fit right now. He's healthy. He started for England. Great news. But he also is going to need rest after a lot of football this season. Lavia, there is concerns, not just for the Chelsea players, for all footballers right now, that there's just so much going on. Imagine, even the players on international duty, they've not even had a holiday. They've not even had a break. And what are Chelsea going to do? If we go all the way in this competition, do we just send all the players away and then call them back a week before the Premier League starts? How are we going to make sure that not only do we try and focus and win this competition, but then when do we recall players back to be ready for the Premier League? I think it is a problem, the amount of football that these guys are playing. The next story that I want to discuss today, because this will directly impact Chelsea. This is from Santi Auna. Darwin Nunez is open to joining Al Hilal. First contact established in recent hours with his entourage, still waiting for an official offer. So, why does this impact Chelsea? It's obvious. Liverpool will then go for Ekitike. Chelsea, in recent days, the Ekitike transfer has slowed down. Club-to-club contacts have stopped. Player-to-player contacts have not been there. So if this is the case, and Liverpool have also been heavily linked with Hugo Ekitike this summer, if Darwin Nunez goes to Saudi Arabia, then I think it will escalate very quickly with Liverpool pursuing Hugo Ekitike. They've obviously been working on a club record deal to sign Florian Wirtz. Thought it was only Chelsea that spent over 100 million on players. They're going to have to stop that narrative now, aren't they? But it looks to me as though Chelsea are finding it very difficult to come to any kind of agreement with Frankfurt. 100 million is crazy. Maybe Liverpool this summer are like, do you know what? We don't care. We're going to pay these teams what they want. We didn't spend last summer. We're the champions. Man City, look at the way that they've done business before the Club World Cup. They're not penny pinching. They're not trying to squeeze these deals out. They've gone out there, got Cherki, Ait Nouri, Reinders. They are serious for next season, but also they're serious for the Club World Cup. There's so much money to be won. So Chelsea now, we're not going to get the Ekitike deal done in time. Maybe he can join for the knockout phases. But right now, Chelsea, we're going to have to keep an eye on what Liverpool are doing. And I tell you what, there's also been long-term interest in Darwin Nunez from Chelsea. Don't go anywhere near him, okay? Do not go anywhere near him. The next story, let's go to the Chelsea website and take a little look at everything you need to know about Mamadou Sarr. Here we go. Let's take a little look and have a little read. There he is, making a nice little tackle on a Monaco player. Chelsea have completed the signing of talented defender Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg. Here we look to answer some key questions you might have. How old is he? He's bloody 19 years old, mate. What position is he? Sarr is a central defender. He's played games in defensive midfield during loan spells. Of course, we've got to talk about the versatility. And in youth football, but the majority of his professional career has been at centre-back. He's a right centre-back, which, considering no Wesley Fofana for the Club World Cup, I think this right centre-back options for Chelsea will be Chalobah, Tosin, Mamadou Sarr. The left centre-back, maybe Badiashile gets a move. Maybe he's not going to be featuring because the club are going to try and sell him. So potentially, we could see Tosin left centre-back, and it'll be between Chalobah and Sarr for the right centre-back spot. So I think we're going to see him in this tournament. What clubs has he played for? He started at Étoile Sportif de Saint-Laurent. Blangy, bloody hell, mate. How many letters do you want in your name? Who the bloody hell are these lot? Northern France, between soon joining nearby RC Lens. The family then decided to the south of France and moved to Lyon age 12, which proved to be the making of Sarr, according to his older brother Abdoulaye. The defender flourished in Lyon youth ranks and made his senior debut as a late sub in the penultimate game of the 22-23 season, age 17. So look, this kid is 19 years old. He made his senior debut less than 3 years ago. So I don't think this is Chelsea's centre-back signing in this summer transfer window. I think if we're serious about competing next season, we do need to sign an elite centre-back. I'm happy with Chalobah, happy with Tosin, happy with Levi Colwill, but we're going to need more than that. We've got Champions League football next year. I think it's an absolute must for Chelsea. So 2 more senior appearances arrived in the first half of the following season before he was loaned out to promoted Belgian side Molenbeek, making 6 starts and 4 substitute outings as the club suffered relegation. His performances attracted the interest of Strasbourg though, and he joined the club last August, a week before his 19th birthday. So this is his father, who made 50 appearances for Senegal, was part of the squad which reached the 2002 World Cup quarterfinals. That's pretty cool. He's still so young, and I think this is going to be one of those where if you actually watch him, which I've done a lot of research on Mamadou Sarr since obviously he's joined the club, he looks like a serious defender. But again, I'm very conscious of how young he is. I'm very conscious of how we need to be very careful when it comes to the expectations on these players. So let's see what he can do during the Club World Cup. Welcome to Chelsea, Mr. Mamadou. Let's see what happens. The next story here, I am adamant that this cannot happen, okay? Manchester City are eyeing a shock move for Marcus Bettonelli following the departure of Scott Carson. Scott Carson played what? Less than half an hour of football at Man City and won in excess of 10 trophies. Mental. Absolutely mental. Imagine the life of a third choice goalkeeper, okay? Marcus Bettonelli is a very important member of the Chelsea dressing room. If you don't follow Chelsea socials and you just tune into GBFC and you just tune into Chelsea games and results, you won't know about this. Bettonelli is absolutely adored by the rest of the players. He's been there now for a while. Chelsea, if anything, this is tactical from Man City because they could go for any third choice keeper, to be fair. Bettonelli, for him, it's like, well, how many medals do I want to win? Do I even want to leave Chelsea? And obviously with Chelsea having so many goalkeepers, there is also a discussion about, well, how many do we register? Do we keep Bettonelli in third for the vibes, literally? And I say it's important because it is. It's very important that you've got those players that are like the glue in the dressing room, particularly when you've got so many ins and outs. So as much as people might be like, oh, he never plays, don't worry about it, just send him off. You're going to improve the Man City dressing room by having a player like that in there. You take it out of Chelsea. Who would be that guy in the dressing room now, the senior figure? When we talk about experience, it's not just on the field. It's also having those older ears, that older brain in the changing room. For me, I think it's actually important. So, Man City, stay away. I don't want big Marcus Bettonelli going anywhere. So, to wrap up this second Chelsea video of the day, let's go and predict the knockout phase of the Club World Cup. Let me just move this so that you guys can see it all. This is what we've got. Porto versus Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are going to win that. Bayern versus Flamengo. Sorry, Flamengo. Harry Kane's going to knock you out. Inter Milan versus Fluminense. Inter Milan are going to win this one. I don't know, actually. Maybe there's a big hangover. No Inzaghi. I'm going to say Fluminense are going to beat Inter Milan. I've changed my mind. Man City to beat Al Hilal. PSG to beat Palmeiras. Chelsea, we will play Boca Juniors. In the last 16 of this tournament, Chelsea could face Boca Juniors. That would be an absolutely unbelievable last 16 tie. Even if we're just talking about the atmosphere, that would be incredible. Chelsea, they're going to win that. And then we've got BVB, Dortmund versus River Plate. That's also a really tricky one. I think River Plate will win that. Real Madrid versus Juventus. I'm going for Real Madrid. Quarterfinals. Atletico versus Bayern. I've got a feeling about Atletico Madrid in this tournament, you know. I think they're going far. I think they beat Bayern Munich and go to the semis. Fluminense versus Man City. It's going to be Man City. They're being serious again. Chelsea versus PSG. So I'm going to do this purely to show you how Chelsea's route to the final would look. PSG is the toughest team we could play. They're the favourites for the tournament. But let's say Chelsea win the quarterfinal in Atlanta. Chelsea win that. River Plate, Real Madrid, gonna say Real Madrid. And then we move into the semi-finals. And if Chelsea do make it into the semis, who do we play? Atletico Madrid versus Man City would be the first one. I think City will win. And then it would be Chelsea, Real Madrid in the semis. Let's say Chelsea win. We move to the final. And the final would be Chelsea versus Man City in New York on the 13th of July. Chelsea going to win. We win the Club World Cup. This is obviously the dream scenario. Let me know your predictions for the Club World Cup in the comments down below. If you want to see a full video where I go into it a bit more, I'll leave a link to the More GBFC video in the description. But as I said earlier today, I thought today was going to be Mike Maignan Day. It still might be. I've got a knack sometimes of when I upload these videos, I try and keep them around the same time so that you guys know when to tune into the channel. But if there is more news, I will talk about it again later, either in a third video or a GBFC live stream. So keep an eye on the channel. Hopefully, we can start getting these deals done. I think it would be disappointing if Maresca didn't get the players he wanted before the start of this competition. I'm here to take it seriously. I think the club should be as well. Thank you guys for watching. Please do like the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you are new. Come on, you Blues.